Are women more attracted to nice guys or bad boys?
In my personal experience, the type of women I've encountered, the type of women I like, mostly are attracted to bad guys. And most women like a guy with a little edge, which I can't blame them for that, because you don't want boring shit. You know what I'm saying?
So then why should men care about what women want?
The same reason why, if you're a salesperson, you should care what the customer thinks. That's the most important part of the play. I mean, you want her, so you got to care what she thinks. It's not about, what you want. It's about what you can give her in a relationship.
Why is it more socially acceptable for women to hate men than it is for men to hate women?
Because it sells. Even if you look at the culture of media, things of that nature, it just seems, and then also people have a lot of hurt too, so it's easy to hit people's pain points. It sells.
Why do women complain about toxic masculinity when women enable that behavior by choosing to date bad boys?
Ooh, that's a good question. Some people want what they don't need and need what they want. It's the nature of a human being, man. Nature of the beast.
Should anybody be hating anybody?
No, absolutely not. I feel like the human race, we thrive better when we love each other, caring for each other, things like that.
If it's acceptable for women to hate men, how are men and women ever supposed to get together?
We won't. I mean, at the end of the day, because, to be honest, I'm married now, but I will say, even for friends and things like that, or even the younger generation, there are things as a man I warn my nephews about, like in the next generation, of what to watch out for when it comes to dating. I also warn women as well, but if I project hatred onto them, I think that it's going to steer them away from even wanting to engage with the opposite gender.
As far as equality efforts go, why are we so concerned with masculinity when we should be concerned about misandry?
Because masculinity is defined by women. It's been defined by women in their servitude by men. And we have to, it's like an ego thing, but we're forgetting about the very premise of what we are fighting for. If we're fighting for equality and equal justice for all, we need to have the foundation of equal justice as the very premise before masculinity. And because if we're fighting for men's equality, there's guys that aren't masculine. Are they supposed to be second class to others? Whether we're masculine or we're not, men have to have equality, equal rights to women, and masculinity comes second. And who's to define masculinity? Well, let men define their own masculinity. Let men develop in their own right, not anyone else's.
Are women equally shamed into feminine roles as men are shamed into masculine roles?
They used to be. But not anymore. They can be whatever they want.
Not in today's age. Before, yeah, like a woman was expected to be softer, things of that nature. But if a woman is also deciding to be like, you know what, I want to be more masculine, or I want to be a stud, things of that nature, she's still going to be praised and loved regardless. I feel like but those same standards of men, like even like the double standards of gay men versus gay women, is easier to, and I learned this from having gay friends, gay relatives, things of that nature. It's easier to accept two women kissing and showing affection out in public or in movies and things of that nature versus men doing the same thing. So I feel like it gives women the upper hand in that sense.
Wouldn't that equate modern misandry to feminism and traditional misandry to chivalry?
Yes.
Why was manhood always defined as a servitude to women?
Because men are, as a masculine trait, men are typically known to be protectors. We're automatically raised that way as children. And then also, even as children, we typically show those traits of even with, I grew up with a single mother. I was always a protector. Even when I would see guys staring at my mother, it was just in me. But if I was afraid, I feel like I would be insulted in a way, like not from family, but just in general of society.
Do you think that idea of men being protectors and providers, is that a social construct or is that biological?
It's both. It's the reason why it's biological because my wife's 5'3", I'm 6'1". Obviously, she's just because of the role I decided to play. I am going to step in front, but she would look at me if I just didn't decide to, or if I didn't feel like I was strong enough. She would look at me different if I didn't decide to be the protector. Also, if onlookers, if a man decided or a woman decided to attack my wife, they would look at me different just because I didn't intervene, even if she was a stranger. So we are expected to do so.
What does it mean when somebody says that's a man's job?
Taking out the trash.
Yeah,
That's a man's
literally.
job. I hate taking out trash. If I gotta touch a trash can and you're here, what are you doing?
The gas. I can still do it, but like if it's super cold and my boyfriend
A
is
gentleman,
with me,
like why wouldn't
he
you want
should
to
be
do
the
it?
one getting out of the car doing it.
Definitely.
What's a woman's job?
Cooking, cleaning, like the older days.
I'm not taking out the trash. I'm not fixing the car. I'm not doing the dirty work. Yeah, that's a man's job. I'm not doing that.
That usually is a woman saying, well, I don't want that job. It's below me, like sewer workers or certain jobs like plumber. Or that's what it means. That's a man's job. Or if there's a distasteful task, like taking out the garbage, that's a lower status person that needs to do those things. That's what that means.
So would it be any wonder why men and women don't earn the same?
It is an example of what women complain about in the reverse, that shows women don't choose jobs that pay more if they're distasteful or if they require more work to do. And that's there is no gender pay gap. It's just that women choose careers and to get the degrees that will land them jobs, if they're lucky, that aren't as valuable as those occupied by men.
Women are not on the top. They're not going to be presidents. They're not going to be CEOs of things. And I think women are starting to get recognition of the fact that they are bosses and that they are like
powerful people.
Yeah,
Because we're all
you know what I
humans
mean?
at the end of the day, no matter what we are.
Now you're seeing more CEO women.
Yeah.
Like it's being more acceptable into now.
Why are women more concerned with the ratio of male to female CEOs as opposed to the ratio of lower paid, dangerous, dirty jobs done mostly by men?
Because women are smarter than men.
We live in a world of women empowerment. It was a time where women didn't have a voice, and they want their voice, and they're demanding their respect. And I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot more women graduate than men, and I kind of feel them on that. You know, women outnumber men 7-1 to 10-1 by the time they graduate high school, and that's a fact. No matter the race, religion, or ritual, those are facts.
Why do you think so many people keep pushing the idea of a gender pay gap when it's been debunked as a myth countless times?
There's no reason for it other than distraction and trying to regurgitate things from the past that aren't issues, so we can get away with women trying to get more and still keep attached to that victimhood narrative, and otherwise they won't have anything else. There's nothing else, so they have to hold on to something, even if it's completely debunked and illegit.
What is the definition of misogyny?
The hate of women.
What is the definition of misandry?
The hate of men.
Why have more people heard of misogyny than misandry?
That's because nobody gives a crap about men. They're lower than women, so it's okay to hate men because they don't have a value. They don't have a personal value applied to their existence. Their existence, again, like I mentioned earlier, is to merely serve women as their value.
Do you think that misandry is as socially dangerous as misogyny?
No, because I think men still hold a status, like a social status, and like have social capital in the world that misogyny like actually affects like women in the workplace, you know? On the other hand, like there's not that many women in high-powered jobs, so misandry is just like a little thing like when your girls are having a kiki. Like it doesn't actually affect real world like important things like money.
Why do people think that all men are still controlling the world just because there are a few men at the top of the food chain?
Wage gap.
Okay.
Glass ceiling, like it's evidence there. Like why are women still getting paid less, like on average, than women in the year 2022? Like that doesn't make any sort of sense. No sense at all.
I don't think anyone should be hated in general.
Yeah.
Neither gender should be hated.
We're all
treated
here.
equal.
Yeah.
We're all humans.
Like, I don't see
We all
color,
live on this
I don't
planet.
see gender. We
Right.
are all here to be connected. We're
And
all
just
here for a
live life as
reason.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And lastly, feminism claims to be about equality but is often confused with man-hating. How can feminists repair this misconception?
It is man-hating. There has been no efforts by feminism to include men and consider men, even if it's a compromise that's necessary for women to make some lowering of their status. It's because it's all about women and escalating their value at men's expense.
Fight for men as much as you fight for women, because there are a lot of men that are at the bottom. Majority of men are. Most homeless people that I see are men. I haven't done any studies on this, so this is my own speculation from my own personal experience, but most homeless people that I see are men. Most people that are locked up are typically men. And honestly, majority of the women that I know, I make a decent income, I make a decent living. Most women that I know make more than me. So,
Can you name something that feminists have done fighting for men?
not off the top of hand. I'm pretty sure I could Google it, but not off the top of hand.
They can repair it just by saying a positive person. Like, just don't talk negative at all. Just stay in a positive state. Don't
People
talk
shouldn't
negative
have
about
anything
anybody.
Negative to say about anyone.
That's just basically all you got to do. Yeah.
Is it possible to be pro-men without being anti-woman?
Of course. Just because I don't hate men doesn't mean I hate women.
It's all about love and vibes, and you got to spread fucking positivity. And at the end of the day, if you're fucking hating on people because they're a fucking female, a male, a fucking interracial fucking couple, a transgender, no matter what the fuck you are, if you're not loving people based on people, then go fuck yourself at the end of the day.
Should our respect for people be based on their humanity or their behavior?
A little bit of both.
Would you agree that it should be on their humanity until their behavior proves otherwise?
Definitely, because people are not what they say, they're what they do.
Why do so many people think they just deserve respect based on their identity regardless of their behavior?
Narcissists.
So isn't respect something that's earned?
For the most part, yeah. Just humanly on a respectful level. You were supposed to respect all humans, but you know, if you don't respect yourself, then you just kind of took away all your respect.
Is there a difference between not respecting somebody versus disrespecting somebody?
There's definitely a difference.
What is the difference?
Well, when you disrespect someone, when you go out your way to diminish their character or deface them in any way, form, or fashion. When you don't respect somebody, I can say, hey, I don't respect that guy, but I'm not going to go up and call him out of his name. You know what I'm saying?
So isn't one passive and neutral while the other is hateful?
Yeah. To go out of your way to disrespect somebody, that's pretty hateful. That's pretty hateful.
If society was controlled by men, aka patriarchy, how would feminism be a movement that's gained traction without the help of men?
It wouldn't, and feminism is based on chivalry, traditional misandry, or that they wouldn't, feminists wouldn't have a foundation. And the fact that women get their way and men have been groomed from boyhood to serve women, then that's why feminism has been so successful. That very basic premise of valuing men in their own right, for their own existence, needs to happen from boyhood.
All right, here's the last question, and this is a controversial one, okay?
Okay.
But give me good answers. You're a smart guy. Okay, if there was some unwritten law that black people had to open the door or give up their seat, would that be considered race bigotry?
I definitely feel that it is prejudice.
Well, is it bigotry?
It's definitely bigotry.
Okay, so it's race bigotry is what I would say, okay?
Yeah, race bigotry,
Okay,
definitely.
that's why I asked it that way, okay?
Yes, sir.
So why is it when the same unwritten law is applied to men, it's not considered sex bigotry?
Ooh, damn.
Could it be that men are of lower value and status to women as blacks were once considered?
That men are a lower value than women nowadays?
A lower status.
Lower status?
Yeah.
Ooh, brother, you hitting it on it. I'm gonna say this. I don't know how to answer that. I'm gonna answer it though. I feel like that's a matter of perception, and I say that because not everybody is bred the same. Not everybody's sociopathic or narcissistic. So based off the masses, we just live in a crazy world that is ran by men like that, you know. And then you got women out here who feel like that men are lesser, and then you got the vice versa. It's just a crazy world we live in. My personal opinion, I think everybody is equal and everybody deserves a equal opportunity to be great.
Finally, if people are pushing for anti-racism, why are they not pushing for anti-sexism?
They should be.
I agree with you, they should be.
They should be.
But are they?
They're not, because sex sells. And that's just the world we live in, you know.